let's look at this, because there's a difference between belief systems and reality. Every child is born with flat feet. They really are. And everybody is born without the curve in the neck and the curve in the low back. These are all structures that develop as we get our gravity, or our balance, our position in space, or proprioception. This is why crawling is so important, because that starts to develop the secondary lordotic curves in the cervical and lumbar spine. Now, that's important. This is why crawling on children is so fantastic. This is why I don't like those little machines that you put the kid in, that they're forced to sit up and they walk around. They're fantastic because it's great. It gives the kid some free time where it frees up the parents, but it's not good for the child's lordotic development or cervical or lumbar development. Now, flat feet, everyone is born with, and you develop by restoring that motion of the foot and by balancing. So the more you use the feet, the more the structures develop. Now, there are congenital anomalies, which are incredibly rare. The talus, which is that bone right in the middle of the U joint, you've got the fibula and the tibia on either side, that can be fused, elongated. You can have malformation. You can have the bones that form the arch of the foot could be fallen from some type of trauma. There's a lot of different things. There's nutrient deficiencies in the mom. It can lead to that. Also, neurologic deficits, such as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which it just is really a tissue production problem. So if it's running in the family, look at environment, look at nutrient deficiencies of the mom, look at altered biomechanics where parents are putting the kids in those little walkers instead of allowing them to crawl. Also, look at cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and again, all these lesions or central nervous system lesions that can alter that biomechanics of the foot. So there's a lot of different congenital anomalies, but everyone is born with flat feet. Now, when you say it runs in the family, realize that I've never seen where 100% of the people in the family have flat feet. It's going to be one or two. Then you're going to see bunion formation. You're going to understand the history of that person. Like, did they have a trauma or a fall when they were a child? Did they have some type of neurotoxins? So all of this, as long as you have good nerve supply to the feet and you don't have a distorted bones where literally the bones of the foot are malformed, where sometimes they're fused or not separated. There could be a lot of different anomalies, and that is incredibly rare. But the only reason that some foot deformities could run in families is look for nutrient deficiencies, environmental neurotoxins, look at tissue production problem because you've got ligaments and cartilage in there, and look for consistent trauma as growing up, falls that can damage the lumbar and pelvis. So I do some detective work to say, because it's not going to be every member of the family that has it. And there is always something you can do about it, even with malformed bones.